Hello, everyone. Let me talk to you about Lab 5. Lab 5 is not in your book, but I thought about Lab 5. What I need to do is to give you a little bit about uh, instructions and how we can actually. It's not. There's. If you recall, in Chapter 6, it talks to you about some function, some predefined function and user-defined function. And I think the chapter does a wonderful job on user-defined function, but there's also what's called the predefined function that I thought was pretty deficient on this thing. So what I would like to do is to talk to you about the predefined function and the things I need for you. So let me just clarify something. Let me clarify this lab with it. So bear with me. So here's what I need for you to do. Just follow along with the screen with it. If you go to our website, our eCampus, and here is the Lab 5, Lab and Homework 5 instruction. So if you click on this thing, download this thing. This is a Word document. You don't need your book for the same. You download this thing, and if you can go to that link that I have, you download it. You have that. You download this thing. So it looks like this. This is what it looks like. This is what uh, what the lab looks like. It's called, I don't know why I call it Lab 6, but it's supposed to be called Lab 5. My apology with this thing. So this is called actually Lab 5. I need to fix this thing. I don't know why I call it Lab. It's your Lab 5. It's over the years it gets kind of run into it with it as well. This is the link if I like for you to take. And if you could pull this link, go to this website called c++.com right here. If you want to copy that and just fire up your editor or your Explorer, and Explorer, it looks like this, and just paste into your URL in there. And this is the C library. There's what's called built into library resources that I'd like for you to spend some time in researching the stuff with it. So if you go to this little reference library, this is the first file that I would like for you to do. If you pull up the lab, this is what it looks like. So when you come down here, this is the link I like for you. And if you could, please, just spend a few minutes browsing through the header files. Just give me any three of these files on here. So this needs to be completed in part 1A. Research it. Just go through. This is where we spend a lot of our times studying these library files with it. Part B, 1B says click on the CTime header file. What are the manipulation function of available for the C library? So if I went to the C library file, and this is the C library. If I scroll down at the bottom, and I find this the C library file for the one I'm asking you to look up is your standard library file for the CTime. So if you find your CTime, which is this one right here, you click on it, and it gives you here are your C library files. There's the clock, there's the difference time, there's the make time, and there is the time variables. These are the things that you can manipulate your functions in here with it. So this is what I need for 1B is this part right here. In part 1C, yes, note that the CTime function can be used together with the current calendar system time. What is the signature of this time function with this thing? So if you drill down on this thing, it breaks it down to another function that you can actually break down on. And you see that this is what I'm looking for is the time underscore t, the time that actually breaks down the time and the timer with it. So then it talks about how you get the current time into the t underscore time with it. So it breaks it on how to use that parameter with it as well. Okay, and you can see the example that actually runs into with it as well. So that's number one with it. And then you come down here and let me pull up the second part of this thing, this lab. Number two, there's also 1B, 1C, 1D. Okay, so the 1D part it asks you to do is note that the time function can now, the difference in time, the DIF time function returns a difference in seconds in two lines. What is the signature of the time difference function? Again, go into your function that you see, and you drill down to the variable, the difference in time. Okay, so here's the difference in time, and you're going to see, you click on it, and you see this is the parameter that I'm looking for is for 1D, is this part right here. Okay, so that's all you look for. That's 1C, 1D, 1C, 1D with it. Part 2 talks to you about some of the things that we are that I would like for you to do is we call it the power and the square, are a predefined mathematical function available in C++. Given that this is something that is a square root, okay. So what I would like for you to do is to create a project, call the file, call square RT or SQRT, add that as a CPP, add this code, put this code in, okay, hand code this thing into your file, okay, and I'd like for you to compile this thing, and what should your answer be if you took the square root of, for example, step through this thing, all right, what is the square root when you calculate when the user inputs 81? So when you input 81 in this thing, what is the square root of this thing if you took the power of raised to 0.5, which is the square root? Are you great? So what should that answer be? I hope you know what the square root of 81 is, right? And then you come down here. This is my trace table with this thing I'd like for you to do. So if you look at this trace table, I'd like for you to come in here and look at each one of these lines in here. And when you come in, and I'd like for you to tell me what is the current variables is for X, and what's the other current variable is for results. Okay? So tell me what data type they are. So look at your code. Here's X, and here's result. Tell me what data type they are. There are doubles and doubles in this thing, so fill that in. Tell me what is it in the memory of this thing. Now, if you prompt the user, and the user types in CN, your memory is going to be what? That's X. It's going to be 81, right? And then you took the square root of that, right? So what is it when you actually fill it in? So, and this is 81, and line declaration is what? What line is that? Whatever line is. And what line is that when you initialize it, right? So the line that you initialize it, and let the line that you actually declared it, this is where you actually declared it, okay? This is where you initialize it, all right? So whatever that line numbers come out to be. So you plug that in, enter in 81, took the square root of that, square root of 81, all right? What's the result now? The result now is what? The square root is the result is what? It should be 81. Square root of 81 should be 9 here, correct? So tell me what line number that actually takes place with it. Now I want you to go in, okay? Well, that's that part with it. I want you to try out some numbers. I gave you some numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 4, 13, 21. What should the square root be? Fill that out for me. This part right here, okay? So that's the part that I'd like for you to fill out for me. All right. So fill that out. Next, I need for you to come in. At this time. Let me pause right here for a moment.